It's time for Flash Thompson to learn that the Venom symbiote actually has a mind of its own, that it's actually an alien, and that it actually wants to do good. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, brought to you by Team Comicstorian, the most epic way to recap your favorite storylines with music, voices, and sound effects. But we do highly recommend picking up your favorites, as we do leave out some of the plot points to allow for a speedier recap. Now this is issues 4, 5, and 6 of Venom Space Knight, continuing the plot line that started with Venom Space Knight. If you've been following our Sunday Venom videos, once again, do not worry, we will be getting back to Mania soon. Now when we last left off, Flash was recovering and he discovered that the Clintar, aka Venom, was flying the ship. When he went over to talk to him, Venom turned back, telling him that they should probably talk. A little while after that shocking revelation, Flash sits with Venom and he tells him that this is a little strange. And Venom responds with, "Tell me about it." Flash asks how come he's never done this before, become a sentient being from himself. And Venom tells him that he couldn't. Not since he's been cleansed, but now here they are. Venom goes on, saying that he can hold this form for about an hour, but with practice he should be able to hold it for half an Earth day, allowing them to work as separate entities if needed. If you're still wondering what's going on, this all started when the Venom symbiote went back to its home world and learned that it was supposed to be a hero for the cosmos, someone to save people, and his original race, the Clintar, purged him of all of those evil thoughts and hatred that he was building up with. Anyway, Venom tells Flash that when they're joined, he can feel the cosmos better. They make great partners. Flash tells him it's nice to hear that. Speaking of, do you hear that humming? Just then, the ship is shot and begins to fall out of space as it crash lands down on a planet. Flash gets out, telling Venom that he appreciates him wrapping him up, and Venom tells him that he won't be able to communicate in this form, but he will always be here. Flash gets out, pulling some of the debris, and he calls out for 803, his droid that he rescued. Throwing the rebel aside, 803 says that he's here, but he's afraid that they may be under attack. Flash tells him, "You don't say!" And 803 goes on to say that he scanned the attacking ship. The only life form that he found on it was Peak Rolo, a vicious criminal. Flash turns around to see Peak and asks if he's sure that she is a criminal, and 803 says yes. She's wanted for murder, treason, and arson across 15 systems. She is a menace. But as Peak stands before them, Flash says, "She's adorable!" But just as he says that, Peak smacks him, shouting, "Your head belongs to Mercure!" She grabs 803 and starts to tear him apart as he yells, "Sweet release 111000101!" Flash jumps back in punching, and as the two of them fight, Flash begins to rip off Peak's spacesuit, telling her that she hurt his friend, which pisses him off. And when he gets mad, his partner takes over. Venom takes over, and a small beam of light shoots in, hitting Flash and Peak, knocking them both out. An alien ship then flies down, and two robots step out, stating that they needed warm bodies for their master. Their master will surely be pleased. As they are brought aboard the ship and placed in holding containers, Flash tells Peak that this is all her fault. "You sad, sad panda." She responds, telling him that she is not a panda. She is a rulato, and what she has experienced is not sadness. She feels only rage. Flash looks around at all of the other aliens and containers and says that rage might come in handy, going where he thinks this is going to go. Soon, all of the prisoners are released into the arena, and the Master Robot shouts that their deaths at the hands of their battle beast shall be for nothing. And Flash shouts he hates when he's right. He then turns to Peak and tells her that if they're going to live through this, he's going to have to kill her. And Peak responds with, "You're welcome to try. Though, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Mercure has my child." Giant beasts begin to make their way into the arena, and the Master Robot shouts that they will teach him the ways of war. Once he's had enough, he'll rule the universe. When the fighting begins, Peak explains that Mercure is a Gramosin, which are normally peaceful. However, their planet requires vast quantities of energy to survive, and Mercure went rogue. He now collects energy and weapons from all over the galaxy. One day he raided their planet and kidnapped their greatest warriors, but since he extorted them into a criminal life, she's the only one that's left alive. As the bodies begin to fall, Flash says that he'll make her a deal. If they do survive this, she will take him to Mercure so that they can take him out together and save the kid. They both continue the fight, and the bodies fall until there's only one person left: Venom. The Master Robot steps from his throne and calls out, "At last, the Great White Bear has fallen!" But as the Master Robot goes on, Flash begins to laugh. The Master Robot says he does not know why he is laughing. Humor is not required. But from behind the Master Robot, Peak's shadow looms over, and she rips the Master Robot's head off. All of the other robot guards rush down and surround them. And while you would assume that they are there to battle against them, they end up bowing and shouting, "Praise the new masters!" Flash says, how about they all just go free? Declare themselves as their new masters. But another robot shouts, "We live to serve! Tell us how to serve!" So, Flash follows up by telling them he's gonna have to sleep on it. He has something that he needs to go check on. A little while later, Peak says that she's not sure why they're coming back here, and Flash says that he's not leaving his friend behind, but the sentence is stopped when Flash sees a fully repaired 803 and a fully repaired ship. He asks 803 what happened, and 803 says sadly he was not killed, so he put himself back together as well as the ship. Peak says that she's sorry that she nearly destroyed him, but 803 says that he only wished that she had finished the job. Once everyone gets on the ship, Flash says, "Alright, let's go rescue your kid." After their getaway, everyone meets in the weapons hangar, and Peak asks if this is really their only options. Flash says that this was their stealthiest of options. It will work! Probably. As her and Flash get ready, she tells him that if that was humor, it was unfortunately timed. Venom begins to cover the both of them, and Flash says they're going to get her kid back, as long as they survive this part. Outside of the ship, preparations to fire are set, and then the ship fires Venom shaped like a missile. The missile Venom orbits Mercio's planet and crashes down. And as Flash and Peak get out of the wreckage, she says that she prays to the gods that she'll never have to endure such a thing again. The two make their way to the base, but Flash begins to notice none of the guards are running to stop them. Peak tells him that he is less than intimidating, and Flash says that's funny coming from a murderous space bear. But then they stop as the guards come out, and Flash says that he vouched for her, and Peak says that she's sorry. The guards grab onto Flash as he manages to punch at Peak. He struggles trying to fight as Peak hits him back, stating that she had no choice. She had to protect her child. As the guards walk away, leaving Flash on the ground, one says that it's time to give him the treatment. A sonic blast emits, peeling off Venom, leaving him as just a pile of goo. Mercio then walks out, saying he finally gets to meet the man meddling in his affairs. Flash gets up charging towards Mercio, but he's easily knocked down. He picks himself back up and runs again, but this time Mercio takes out his sword, cutting the prosthetic legs off, telling him that he's nothing without his Clintar. He then raises the sword to kill Flash, but Peak tells him to wait. They need him alive for now. The Clintar is bonded to him. Until they can fix the Clintar, his plan would be for nothing. Flash crawls, shouting not to lay a hand on him, but Mercio kicks him down, knocking him out. The guards then pick up Flash's body, and Mercio tells them to take him to the pit. He examines the puddle that is Venom, and he tells Peak that she played her part well. Perhaps a little too well? Peak lunges at Mercio, burying her claws, and without even getting up, Mercio releases an electronic pulse, shocking her. He continues beating down on her until more guards begin to drag her away, and as they do, he tells them to inform her that she will need to kill her friend or he will drown her child. A short while later, Peak is thrown into a pit alongside Flash, and as she lands, he tells her, look, he told her that it would work. And she says that if she was not broken right now, she would break him. However, back outside, Mercio begins to laugh, as he is now bonded with Venom. Mercio tells Venom that he feels strange. They're not wearing each other. It's as if they are one, and he can feel the hunger. However, he cannot fear it. He shall keep him well fed. Back down in the pit, Flash hears the door shift open, and he says, right on schedule. As Mercio steps in, Flash asks, how bad is it? Peak says that it looks like this is going to be the end. Flash then says that he wasn't talking to her. Suddenly, Venom starts to peel himself away from Mercio, telling Flash, it's worse than we thought. This man has an armada. Mercio shouts, you must obey me! But Flash tells him, just give him a nice squeeze. As Venom reaches back out, he wraps his arms around Mercio and he begins to crush and break his body. He then slams him down and starts to beat on him until Flash tells him, enough! After stopping, Venom says, I'm sorry. Please, let me return to where I belong. Mercio then crawls out, calling for his guards to kill them, and Flash runs towards the exit, with Peak saying that she's pretty sure the bad guys are behind them. Flash says Mercio called for backup, which is smart because he too called for backup. Outside, they see all of the Cujin warriors and the robots all fighting and taking down Mercio's army. As Ika stabs into one of the soldiers, she asks if the furry thing is a friend, and Flash says that it is Peak Rolo. Peak Rolo, this is Ika. With her back against Peak's, Ika says that she's already placed a husbandry claim on the human, and Peak tells her that he's all hers. One of the robots then shoots at the soldier, shouting, for master! And Flash tells him, I am not your master! You're supposed to be free! Through the crowd, Mercio runs up, punching Flash, calling him weak, and as he does, Venom begins to take over again. After a roaring scream, Venom grabs Mercio and slams him to the ground and grabs the closest piece of machinery that there is. Venom shouts, we are not weak, we are Venom! And he begins bashing Mercio over and over. Flash tries to tell Venom to stop, but Venom continues to hit him. Soon 803 shouts for him to stop, please. Flash tells him he didn't know what, but 803 says, it's okay, it is now over. Behind them, Mercio fires a gun, hitting Flash, shouting, it isn't over! We're gonna meet again, and next time you're gonna die! As Mercio tries to get away, 803 says that he's sorry that he got in the way. Please feel free to deactivate me. Flash tells him, no, you did good. You got everyone here. And then the voice of Peak shouts, Hilla! Peak picks up Hilla, and she asks if there's anything left for her to destroy. Peak pops her on her shoulders, telling her, "That's her girl." Flash grabs 803, telling him that he told her the plan would work, and Peak says, "Next time, tell her the whole plan." Flash then asks what she means by next time, and Peak says, "Well, this ship needs a crew." Off in the crowd, Ika shouts that she needs a quest. She will come make a name for herself. Also, he seems unstable, and she finds that attractive. Flash tells everyone, "Fine, you can come if you want, but I'm no captain." Also, there's no pay. 803 asks, "What about the robots?" And Flash says, "I know what to do with them." He orders the robots to protect both the planets of the first aliens that he came across, and quickly leaves before they ask anything else. Later aboard the ship, everyone relaxes as they have a small party. But Venom is not with them. Venom sits alone, looking at himself in the mirror, and slowly, his face begins to change. This was the beginning of what was going to be an epic space romp for Flash Thompson and Venom, but sadly you'll see it coming to an end very soon. So let me know if you missed this, if you enjoyed this, or if you just want him to get back to being on Earth, being Venom. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comicstorian, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up to date on the videos that are coming out. I'll see you next time right here.